Most people think that Claude Code is just for writing code and building applications, but it can actually be used for many other use cases too. One of them is creating videos and animations completely from scratch. Yes, you heard that right. You can actually create videos with Claude Code and you don't need any video editing experience. Believe it or not, these videos you can see here were all created purely using Claude Code. I literally just typed what I wanted in plain English and Claude Code handled everything else. All I did was describe the idea with a prompt like, create a marketing video for my app, and Claude Code took care of creating and editing the entire video for me. It essentially acted as an AI video editor. In this video, I'll show you exactly how you can set up Claude Code for video creation, get Claude Code to create different types of videos for you, the specific kind of videos that work best with this method, and real examples that you can copy and use for your own project. If you're new here, my name is Moritz. I have a product management background, and on this channel, I teach beginners and non-technical people how they can use AI to build software. I also started a community to teach beginners how to build software with AI, which I will link below. Let's dive in. Before we start, I just want to give a shout out to Tariq here. Tariq works at Anthropic and he posted a thread about using Claude Code for this use case. So thanks a lot for sharing this and basically inspiring this video. Now here's where the secret lies that enables all of this. Claude Code can work with different video creation libraries. These libraries are basically toolboxes. Each one is good for different types of videos. And in this video, we will be using two different libraries. The first one is Remotion. Okay, so let me show you the Remotion website here. You can see it says make videos programmatically. And basically Remotion is a library that lets you create videos using React code. Now, if you're not familiar with React, no worries, that's where Claude Code actually comes in, because you don't need to know React at all to be working this. Claude Code will be taking care of writing the React components, and Remotion is then basically there as the library that makes all of this work. So what makes Remotion special is that it lets you create videos with code. Basically, that's what you need to know. And this means you can use code to add smooth animations, transitions, and basically the effects that you can see in the videos. If you look at some of the examples here on their website, you've got like smooth text animations, data visualizations that move and transform, like logo animations. You can see here as well, there are other apps like Banger.show, this app Submagic, some other apps which are all based using the Remotion library. So they're all built on top of the Remotion library. So it is definitely a very powerful library that enables you to do a lot with videos and code. Let's have a look at the documentation here. So essentially what you need to know is you can create React components, as I mentioned, and then there are certain video properties. So it's just like the width, the height, and then the duration in frames. So how long the video is and how many frames per second the video has, which together determines how long the video is. And then there are compositions, which is basically the combination of the React components and video metadata. This is what allows you to create the videos, basically. There are different kinds of things you can do with it. So you can do like shape animations, like morphing, scaling, rotating things. You can do text animations like fade-ins, slide-ins, typewriter effects. You can do transition effects like slide, fade, and so on. You can even do audio synchronization, so basically make your visuals react to sound. But the best part is that it's web-based, so you can include actual web elements in your videos. So for example, if you want to show your app's interface, you can actually embed real HTML and CSS and display it live. And you can even pull from APIs. So there's a bunch of things you can do with that. And we're going to be going into some of that in a bit. So you can think of Remotion as your tool for creating marketing videos. It's really useful for that. It can do like product demo videos. You can also use it for social media content, or sometimes even like presentation slides, or like different kinds of explainer videos, logo animations as well, tutorial videos. So these are the kind of videos that this library really shines at. Okay, then let's get started and let's install Remotion on our system. So the first thing we'll do is here in Cursor, I'll just open up a new project. I created a test project before, and so I'll just call this one Claude Code Videos 1. Let's create that. So this will be our kind of root folder. And within this, we can now simply run the command to install Remotion, which is very easy. And it's this one right here. So let's copy that over. And then I'm going to open up the terminal with Command J. We can close this sidebar here and I will run this. So it will show you a couple of templates that it has available. So there's this Hello World template. You can also just start with blank, a bunch of other templates as well, which I haven't tested out all of them yet, but you can have a look at them. For now, let's just go with the Hello World template. And then we can give the directory a name that we want to work inside of. Let's call it Remotion Video at Tailwind. Yes. Okay, cool. It says open this in cursor. No, we have the root here opened, the root folder here open already, so we can keep it like this. And now it basically has created this folder here, Remotion Video, with all of the files inside of it. Okay, now actually let's do this. This is going to be better once we actually start Claude Code. We're going to be opening up this folder directly in cursor, because this way when we run Claude Code later in this folder here, it will be able to read the context here better. So we've opened up this subfolder here, and now all we need to do is we just need to run npm I to install all of the packages. Okay, and now we can do npm run dev, and that will open up the Remotion Studio, which is like a cool visual interface to see your videos live. And you can see it kind of looks like a classic video editor. And because we chose the Hello World template, there are some videos in here already, so we can play this one. You can see this is like a little animation here, and these are the kinds of videos that Remotion is able to create. Okay, let's switch back here, and now what we're going to do is I will open up a new terminal and we will now just run Claude in it. So just type Claude. If you haven't installed Claude yet on your system, just go to just search for Claude Code, and then there will be this installation command and it will let you install Claude Code on your computer. And then you can basically, the first time you open it up, it will let you log into your Anthropic account. If you have a pro account, you have like certain usage limits to use that. If you have a max account, you have even more, or you can also use it with your API key. Okay, now that we have Claude opened here in this Remotion project, what we want to do first is to just run the init command. And what this does is it will look through the current project and kind of figure out what this project is about. And then it will create a claude.md file, which will give it context for all of our future prompts. Okay, let's accept these changes here that Claude wants to make. So what this did is it created this claude.md file. And if you go through it, it will be quite basic. It will just say there's Remotion in here, and this is the structure of kind of the project right now. And I want to add some more things in here, which are some custom instructions that Tariq has shared. So if you go here onto his GitHub link, he has actually shared some like best practices to use Remotion. So I'll just copy these in, and let's type best practices for Remotion. I'll paste them in, and this should, in theory, for our prompts here that we type in, should give it like better context and allow it to work better and with less errors. Okay, now we are all set up and we can start. So the first example I wanted to start with is to just create a marketing video about your product. What we could say is create a premium marketing animation video for CopyCoder AI, which is the product that I am working on, and let's just see what Claude Code comes up with. So the cool thing is that as you can see, I passed in a URL, so it does have a web search tool, and once it kind of does figure a few things out, like according to its plan, at one step of the plan, it will also go ahead and research this URL and kind of find out what there is on this website. Okay, now it's done. So it did come back with one result, which I wasn't totally happy with. And I just told it, okay, make it a bit nicer. And then it came back with this, and we can quickly look into the source folder here as well. It created this folder and created a bunch of like little components, and then it created this TSX file here, which is like the main composition file. Then it added it into this root file. So let's have a look at how this video looks now. All right, here's the video and let's play it. Wow, look at this. This looks really professional already. This is so cool. Nice. So all of this just from, yeah, basically one prompt with like one additional prompt as modification. And I can also show you from my previous tests before this video, I did the same prompt and it ended up looking like this. I would say this version is actually even a little bit better. So it just all comes down to what exactly you say in the prompt and how much you tell Claude Code to just make it really nice. Yeah, looks super nice. Okay, let's do a second example of a video. So this first one was basically a really easy marketing video with a URL as an input. And for the second video, I want to recreate something like Tariq did here in this video. So what this video is, it kind of looks like a screen recording. So it's like a screen recording of the Claude interface, but you can see it has like a little zoom in animation, and then it has the text appearing. And once this text part is done, it will submit it, and it basically like switches into this other screen. So this looks like a screen recording, but it's all purely animated with Remotion. So I want to try recreating this. And the first thing I'll do is I'll just go here into the Claude interface. Let me open up a new chat, and then I just want to paste this prompt here in as an example and just take a screenshot of this part. And then I will switch back into our project here and say, okay, cool. Let's create a new video. I want it to be like a screen recording with dynamic text. Take the following screenshot and recreate it exactly as a component and place it in a video. And then we will paste with Control V, we will just paste the screenshot and have it get to work. Okay, it's almost done here. It's just doing like a test and refinement step. Found a little parsing error. That's the nice thing about Claude Code. It creates these to-do lists, and then there's also always a test step at the end. So it kind of just iterates and loops over its own output and then corrects whatever went wrong. Okay, cool. Looks like it's done. And we can see here that it created this new Claude interface component here. So let's check it out in the studio. Claude interface, and okay, it looks all right, but it seems to have done like a little error here. Just to give you an idea of how it looked like when I did it in my earlier tests, it was actually pretty good. It ended up looking like this. So we can definitely get it to that state as well. The next step we would do is once I submit that, what will happen is, you know, it will like turn into this screen, and then we want to take a screenshot of this screen as well, just to give it that visual reference. And we can then say, okay, now when the prompt is submitted in the video, it should switch to this new screen here. So we'll do that, and then after that we can like look into fixing some of the maybe like visual optimizations of the layout there, but let's see how it turns out after this iteration here. Okay, it's done. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, let's go from here. Okay, kind of layout is a bit off here, so we'll have to fix that. But yeah, it added this second screen now. It didn't match it exactly. So you can see it's not perfect. Like you kind of need to be very precise with your prompts and just make sure that it understands everything and does everything the way you want it. But yeah, in this case, for example, it like assumed that the chat conversation that you type in is on the right and then the response is here on the left and so on. Just to compare it again against the previous test that I did, which was more or less the same prompt, it came up with this. And so this was actually much closer. So it does seem to have some like variance in there. Sometimes it does well, sometimes it does not so well. Could also have to do with the mood of Claude on this day. or like how many tokens it used. So one way to make it better is you can kind of just say, make it better and think hard about it. So we can try this, but this will use a lot of tokens. Let's try it. Okay, so it kind of had this like thinking step. Let me think how to make this better. Realism and authenticity, visual polish, storytelling. I think it's going a bit overboard now. I'm really curious to see what it comes up with now, but the to-dos, it set itself is now add realistic cursor movements. Okay, implement natural typing behavior with pauses and corrections. Not sure about that, but let's see. Add button hover effects. Yeah, that would be cool. Smooth loading, enhance visual polish. Okay, so let's see what it comes up with. Okay, it completed, used up a bunch of my tokens, and it says this isn't just better, it's a completely different class of video that demonstrates true attention to detail. Okay, I hope it's not over-promising. Let's have a look at it. So it did create a new composition here, enhanced Claude interface. And if we play it, okay, there's this. So this is pretty cool. It has this cursor and you can see it has like this effect. The typing is not great, so there's obviously some bug in there. The typing doesn't work that well. And then it has this Claude is thinking, and it kind of goes into this interface again. So okay, it added a bunch of complexity into it, and I would say it's still not perfect. So my previous try was actually much better, and yeah, it just replicated that interface pretty much exactly, did the typing really well. And then this second screen was also looked very much like the original. So this version was really good. Another cool thing I can show you here is you can actually have like this, if you have the schema in here, or if you tell, sometimes it does it automatically, but if it doesn't, then you kind of just need to tell Claude Code to implement the schema, I think. And then it will have like the variable parts of the video in here, and you can edit it straight away. So here, for example, my name, I can then say, you know, I want this changed in the video, so I can actually edit this and it will change in the video. The initial prompt is a variable, I can change that. And so you can see from this, if you set this up once, you can basically have like one type of screen recording that of like your software product, where you have like the components matching exactly your software product. And then you can just make the texts variable, or whatever part you need changing variable. And then every time you change it, you can re-render a new video. And this way you don't need to every time like re-record your screen with a different text. Okay, a fun other little thing that I did is, I think it was this one. So I actually just pasted into Claude Code a screenshot of my software copy coder. So this is like just a screenshot of the like main dashboard where you can see the sidebar here and so on. And then I told it to create a step-by-step onboarding tutorial based on this screenshot. And here's what it did. Welcome to Copy Coder. Let's take a quick tour. And then it does this like step 1 of 4. And it does this like animation with the box. The box is not, the placement of it wasn't perfect. I can probably easily adjust that in the code. And then step 2 is, again, the box is not perfect, but I can like adjust that. It kind of draws your attention to these different sections on the interface, which is pretty cool. And you could use that as in your like onboarding docs, or as like a video that pops up for the when the user logs in for the first time. So this is really useful as well. And then one last example that I want to show you as well, which I think is a really cool use case too, is if you have an existing project. So this is an existing project that I've been working on. It's called Brandy. And here is what the interface of Brandy looks like. So you have these like messages here. You can, it's basically like a brand request agent. So you can see messages here. If I go into this one, it puts a message here from my inbox, and then you can go on to reports, which are like brand reports, and then settings and so on. So what I did now is I went into this folder and I initialized a remote project inside of this project repo, and then just went and ran that and had Claude Code use the existing components inside of that project to create a tutorial video about it. And I can show you what it came up with. So it's created this composition called Brandy Showcase. And if we run it, little animation here, and then it took the interface components. So it pretty much matches exactly my interface that I showed you. And then it did these like little animations. So it's kind of like showing how the product would look like in a way. So this is pretty cool. And this was just like 1 or 2 prompts to get that working. And, you can obviously optimize that and make this look even nicer. So these are the kind of things that you can do with it. And it's really useful for that. Okay, now Remotion is great for marketing videos, product demos, and kind of web style content. But what if you want to create more educational type of videos that explain more complex concepts or like mathematical ideas? That's where our second library comes in, and it's really useful for this. This library is called Manim. And what's Manim? It's a community maintained Python library for creating mathematical animations. It's actually the engine behind, you might know them, these like incredibly smoothly animated educational videos you see on YouTube by this creator called 3 Blue 1 Brown. I think he is also the creator of this library. And yeah, you can see some of those example animations here that you can create with this. And these are just the simple ones that you see. These can get much more complex. And the cool thing is, now that we have Claude Code, we can actually use Claude Code to create these kind of animations. Okay, so let's set up Manim. We're back in our folder here, and what we're going to do is just open up a new terminal session. And if you go here into the Manim docs, you'll also get some information about how to install it. You can install this like package manager before that, and just follow the steps here to install that if you don't have it yet. And once you've done that, all you need to run is this command basically. So let's do that here in our terminal. This will set up a folder called Manimations and initialize everything inside of it. And so we have Manim project inside of this folder. And again, let's switch into that folder just so Claude Code has the context. We'll open up that folder, and same thing as before here. Let's open Claude, and now we can run the init command to create that claude.md file. And again, it will just go through the project files here and just like figure out what's inside of it. Okay, let's write the claude.md file. And again, similar to before, this is kind of just the bare bones. And then I want to add some best practices for Manim projects. And what I did here was I just kind of did like a little deep research session through the API docs of Manim and kind of compressed everything and just organized it. And that's what I pasted here. I'll put this in the description down below as well. I don't know if it helps that much. I haven't tested this extensively, but it should help because it's a compression of the API docs. Okay, now that we have set this up, we can start using this Manim library and Claude Code. So the first example I want to show you is we'll just create a simple math animation to teach my 2-year-old how math operations work in a visual way. Let's try this. Okay, these are really fast. It's already testing the animation with preview, and then it's done, and now it just opened up this video in a separate window here. So let's check it out. Let's learn math. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Definitely a video that can be useful for a 2-year-old to learn something. Oh, here we go. Here are like the addition animations. Nice. Okay. Not bad. I'll show you the example I did previously. Okay, here's the video that it did previously when I said do like a simple math equation animation. Yeah. Okay, not bad. So this was just a simple one. Let's turn it up a notch and make something a little bit more complex. So create an animation that shows a forward pass in a new neural network. Let's try this. Okay, it's done. Let's check it out. Here's the video. Neural network forward pass. Cool. It animates the graph with input and output nodes. Nice. And it adds these like highlighting animations. That's pretty cool. Wow, that's cool. Okay, let's try one more, and we will do a complex animation of gases diffusing with another type of gas. So I just want to test how it does if there are like lots of different moving pieces. Okay, that's done too. Let's check it out. Gas particles mixing, oxygen, nitrogen. Nice. That's pretty cool. Just from one prompt. That's really awesome. Yeah, so as you can see, Manim is like a really powerful library that can create these like smooth, professional looking animations, and they can be really useful for these high-end explainer videos. So it's a bit different from Remotion, a bit of a different use case, and both of them can be useful in their own regards. So there you have it, a complete guide to creating professional videos using nothing but Claude Code and prompts. So just to recap what we've covered in this video, we learned how to set up Claude Code for video creation. We explored two powerful libraries, Remotion for more like marketing and web style videos, and Manim for more educational and explainer type content videos. And we saw real examples of how we can use those libraries to create professional looking videos just with prompting without any video editing experience. So unlike traditional video editing, you can see the difference here. Like with traditional video editing, you have static files. Usually you have just like a static video editor where if you want to make changes, you need to go into that video editor and do your changes manually. But with these kind of more programmatic videos, you have more flexibility and scalability. And now that you can use AI coding agents like Claude Code to write the code, the entry barrier to making these programmatic videos is also much lower. So what these programmatic videos enable is that, for example, the example that I showed you was you can change the text in your marketing videos really quickly. So you don't have to go back and make these editor in your video editing tools. You can actually create a programmatic video and then make these like text changes quickly and then re-render and export it again. And this means you can create very personalized videos at scale. You can also integrate live data from your software into these videos. So you can think about, imagine like setting up an entire system that lets you integrate the data and then, for example, like create monthly report videos that automatically pull the latest numbers from your database, or like social media videos that are being created once you've made an update or something like that, right? So we've barely scratched the surface with these examples, but you can see how using an AI coding agent like Claude Code in combination with these video libraries can be super powerful. So yeah, I'd love to see what videos you create with this method. So feel free to share them in the comments below. And if you found this helpful and you want to learn more about building software and applications with AI, I have a community called the Prompt Warrior community. Inside, I personally help you find product ideas, build products with AI, and grow them. We've got a bunch of courses to learn how to use AI coding tools, and we also have weekly office hours where I personally help you out. I'll put the link below if you want to come check us out. Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. In my next video, I plan to dive deeper into Claude Code, so make sure you're subscribed to that. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.